Only very few people watching this video right now know the right answer to this question. Oh yeah, let's see if you're one of those people. Do Nigerian laws discriminate against women? Yeah, sharp. Tell me the answer. When you're thinking of the answer, now let me tell you an interesting story, which some of you may find unbelievable. This is a story about a woman, Corporal Omolola Olajide, who was dismissed from the Nigerian police in January 2021. Why? Well, according to her disengagement letter, she had violated an aspect of the Nigerian law by becoming pregnant as an unmarried woman in the force. Unknown to her, getting pregnant outside wedlock as a policewoman directly violated Section 127 of the Nigerian Police Act, which is punishable by dismissal. Now, it's important to note here that the Nigerian police law says absolutely nothing about unmarried male police officers impregnating women before marriage. That is to say that single male officers can just give women they let it go. It was on this premise that Omolola went to court and challenged her dismissal, stating as a fact that she suffered gender discrimination and that her male counterparts do not face same punishment in similar circumstances. The police command was ordered to pay her a compensation of 5 million naira in damages for violation of her fundamental right to freedom from discrimination. Oh well, that's one. Whether the court's order was obeyed or not is a story for another time. But what is striking about this court case was how the verdict was justified. The presiding judge ruled that Section 127 of the Police Act directly violates Section 42 of the Nigerian Constitution, which is paraphrased to mean that no citizen shall be deprived of rights or privileges on the basis of gender, especially when enforcing the law. In other words, what is good for Bala is also good for Ebii. The presiding judge ruled that the action of the police was discriminatory, illegal, null and void. Although, as I hear say, the newly amended Police Act has taken out that section on gender discrimination. Fortunately, this court case sparked an important public debate, raising critical questions on why our laws tend to be biased against women and more in favor of men. Patriarchal. This might sound like a big word for many people watching this video, so let me break it down. When we say certain Nigerian laws are patriarchal in nature, what we really mean is that these laws are mostly biased in favor of men and more discriminatory or unfair towards women. One clear example is Section 26 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999 as amended. According to this section, only Nigerian men are able to confer their citizenship to their foreign-born wives. As for women married to foreigners, nothing for you, as the Constitution makes it very clear in that section that this provision is exclusively for men. Also, the Nigerian Criminal Code is another Nigerian law that is quite biased against women. Take, for example, Section 353 and Section 360 of this law. In Section 353, the law stipulates that any person who unlawfully and indecently assaults any male person is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 3 years. Meanwhile, in Section 360, the law stipulates that any person who unlawfully and indecently assaults a woman or girl is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 2 years. Did you notice that one offense is considered more serious than the other? One is a grave crime with a 3-year prison term, while the other one, like bad behavior, small wrongdoing, and the prison term is just 2 years. The Nigerian Penal Code also has several clauses that have also been quite unfair to women. Examine Section 55 of the Nigerian Penal Code, where it is not an offense for a husband to inflict harm on his wife for the purpose of correcting her. So, as a married woman now, If your husband decides to woos you 1 or 2 slaps, it's totally fine under the Nigerian Penal Code, as long as he can show it is for corrective purposes. A man, according to the law, is allowed to apply all these corrective measures on his wife as long as it doesn't cause any grievous harm. In other words, until you have broken her hand or disfigured her face, you are good to go. Plus, there's nowhere the law talks about how we can correct men. No. I don't know if it's just me, but I think men too, they misbehave every now and then. Not be so. This aspect of the penal code bothers me so much because of its implication on the increasing rate of gender-based violence in Nigeria. And the fact that I deal with this issue almost every day in my line of work, fighting for victims of sexual and gender-based violence. It tires me seriously. Fortunately, we now have the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, which has been passed by 35 states and the FCT, and have saved so many situations. And it's not everything be bad news. Women also encounter discrimination under the Labour Act. You heard me. Yes. The Nigerian Labour Law, it shocked me too. Section 55 of the Labour Act prohibits women from working at night in industrial or agricultural positions except for those in management roles or employed as nurses. Hold on. I know what you're thinking. This is ridiculous and there's no way this law is being enforced in Nigeria. Well, you may be right. But the fact that we have this clause present in the Act is in itself a demonstration of discrimination against women under the law. When it comes to career discrimination against women, the laws governing certain law enforcement agencies have been quite unfair to women, placing systemic barriers to their advancement within these agencies. And these laws are very much plentiful. At least let me talk about the ones that are obvious. The Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Order of 2002, before they were sued by an NGO that challenged the policy. This law stated that all female applicants who wish to join the agency must be single at point of entry and after enlistment remain unmarried for a period not less than 2 years. Before now, female officers of NDLEA and Nigerian police who wish to get married must first apply to their organs and obtain approval before they get married. It's not a small something, no. So, for those of my sisters who want to join security agencies and beg, check their policies well before you're asked to obey one kind of last order. What is intriguing about these laws is that many of them directly contradict the Nigerian Constitution, particularly Section 42. While some of these laws have been legally challenged on this basis, resulting in victories, other numerous discriminatory laws remain hidden within various clauses of different legislation. It is concerning that despite the fact Nigeria has signed and ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, and other international conventions, we have failed to meet our international obligation to prohibit discrimination against women by allowing these discriminatory laws to persist. Nigeria is the first country to be pronounced guilty of gender-based violence by a law court for violating provisions of the Maputo Protocol in the Dorothy Njemanze and Theodore versus the Federal Republic of Nigeria case in 2017 at the ECOWAS courts. So, what can we do to change the situation? There are 4 groups of people that are very critical to addressing this gender problem within our laws. Number 1, the lawmakers. If you are a lawmaker watching this video, come close, let me talk to you. Every election year, you have women running about canvassing for votes for you, supporting your campaign, and making sure you remain a lawmaker. Well, it's your turn to return the favor, and you can start by reviewing all of these discriminatory clauses scattered all over our legislative framework. Additionally, take proactive steps to endorse and advocate for gender-sensitive bills waiting in the National Assembly and state houses of assembly, such as the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill and the 5 gender bills, especially now that the Constitution is undergoing amendments. This is your chance. 2. Civil society. Oh yeah, gather here. Continue to mount pressure on our lawmakers to start taking gender justice seriously and increase intensity in advocating for the amendment of these discriminatory laws. Nigerian lawyers, continue to challenge these discriminatory laws at the relevant courts, wherever you can. Already, I hear say some group of lawyers are already gearing up to go to court. So you barrister watching me, I think you should join them. Finally, you watching me right now. If you watched me ramble up to this moment, it shows that this is an important issue for you. And you're very interested to see that women get ahead in this country. You can contribute to this struggle by pushing that like button and sharing this video with your contacts. It will take you less than 5 seconds. By doing this, you make it possible for this message to travel far and wide till it gets to more people that can do something. We also want to hear from you in the comment section on how we can improve gender justice in Nigeria. Please comment below.
I beg, let Nigerian women breathe.